All right, I'm gonna show you guys how much I made my first year as a 19-year-old barber. Yo, what's up everybody? Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Before I show you the numbers, if you haven't already, check out the day in the life video. That's where I show how my routine looks like as a full-time barber, grinding 6 to 7 days a week. I'll link it up there or down below. March 31st was my first official day at Headlines Barbershop Brandon. And bro, I was nervous. That first week, I felt like everybody was looking at me. The other barbers, the clients, and even the people walking in, I felt like all eyes were on me, and I felt very pressured. And you can see me, bro, like I really still look like a kid. So when people would walk in and I would take them in as a barber, some of them would honestly just be like, nah, bro, you look too young. You don't look like you have enough experience. But I kept showing up. The first 3 months that I was in the barbershop, I was working 7 days a week. I was really taking no breaks. And after that, I started taking some Sundays off. But even now, I still work 6 to 7 days a week. I really just had to prove to myself and everybody else in the barbershop that I belonged to be behind the chair. All right, here's what y'all came for, my full breakdown on how much I made in my first year. All right, so we are on Google spreadsheets right now. This is my first year, and I do have a software where I track all of my numbers. I would either go in the same day or that same week, and then I would just input everything in. All right, so here we are. We are looking at my dashboard right now. Like I said, I would input numbers every single day after work or that same week. This is the software that I have right now is telling me all of the numbers of my business. So as we can see here, I have a unique number of customers, how much I make per client visit, how much they come per year on average, my annual customer value, which is made by how many times they come in per year times how much they pay you every single time. And you can see right there, that is what I made for last year as my first year as a barber. This is my very first month, April. That's how much I made. I made $6,867 my first month as a barber. And this is straight out of barber school. And although I didn't hit the goal of making $100,000 my first year, this is the very exciting part. Look at my November to March. So you see how the numbers are kind of going down, down, down. And all of a sudden, November, December blew up. People are gonna say that's because of the holidays. You know, more people wanna get haircuts and there's more demand for barbers and for people looking fresh. But look at my January. If you're a barber, you know January is a quote unquote slower month. But January was probably one of my best months. February took a hit because I was out 2 weekends, but March we're straight back up. So I think the really cool thing about this is look at my first month compared to my last month. And that's how I know my next year is gonna be even crazier. So if you're a young person and you wanna stay inspired, you wanna make sure that you're tracking your stuff, whether it be with your money or with your workouts or what you're eating. When you track your stuff, you can see how you're doing better and you're seeing your improvements step by step, and it just inspires you and motivates you to do even more. Now that you've seen the numbers, this is what's helped me make the most out of my first year. So on average, I was cutting 50 to 60 people a week, and never in my life have I got that many reps. And those 50 to 60 people a week taught me a lot more in a few months that I've learned my whole time cutting hair. Because repetitions is really what it's all about. You wanna make sure your lines are crisp, your fades are blurry, and making sure you're doing it in an efficient manner. But if I'm being really honest, the thing that's helped me the most is that I'm a people person. I really cared about customer service and making the person in my chair feel like they belonged. We would talk crap, we would joke, and then we would just make sure the vibes were right, bro. I then started posting consultations and barbering related content. But bro, honestly, being on camera is so uncomfortable. Like, I'm literally talking to a black box. It's awkward as hell, and even my editing still sucks. But I kept improving and I kept showing up every single week and every single month. If I could talk to a young barber or even like a young person in general, this is gonna help you. The biggest thing I'd say to you is use your age to your advantage. You probably have more free time than everybody else in your shop. Bro, you have to think about it. You're around adults. They have wives, they have kids that they have to care for. They have responsibilities. Like, I know young people, you guys have so much free time, but you're not taking advantage of it. So with with that free time that you have to use it to grind just for a season of your life. Another thing that I would say is look at the OGs around you, the people that have been in the game for a while. Put your pride aside, bro. Just ask them questions and soak up all the knowledge that they give you. I didn't waste my time in barber school. That time that I had there, I made sure to learn as much as I can, and I found the right shop and the right mentor to push me into the right direction. And this is another thing for just young people in general. Find the busiest, most successful person at your job and just emulate the same things that they are doing. They are successful or they are busy for a reason. They didn't do that by accident. So if you just implement what they're doing already, you're gonna find success. Like when you're young, you have to realize that you don't have to figure it out alone. There's people that are already experienced more in life than you, and you just gotta leverage that. All right, that's my spiel for today. And at the end of the day, how much you make as a barber, or just like a young person trying to make it out, it all comes down to effort, consistency, and delayed gratification, and just being a good person. If you got value from this video, drop a comment down below and let me know your biggest question as a new barber. Or if you're an OG watching this video, leave a comment down below of how you can help new barbers, or just young people in general. Also, if you have any other videos that you want me to record, just leave them down in the comments. I'll be sure to try to help as much as I can. I see a lot of young people get misled on how they should live their lives. And I feel like if we had more young people focus on the right thing, we'll have a much better society. Make sure if you haven't watched my video in the day in the life as a full-time barber, click the link down below or up here. And that's for me today, man. Peace.